But me and you both wanted to talk a little bit more about horror movies this time.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of make this a horror-themed kind of episode.
We'll probably do another horror-themed episode in October when it fits. But there is actually a lot more horror going on right now than I expected.
Yeah.
And there are 2 movies that me and you wanted to talk about specifically before we go into depth on anything else. Before we started this, we watched the trailer for Color Out of Space.
Yeah, we just watched the trailer, new Nicolas Cage movie.
I'm willing to watch anything Nicolas Cage do. Not because I think everything he does is good. I'm always excited to see what parts of the movie he overacts.
Yeah.
Because... have you ever seen The Weatherman?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's either that movie or another one where he's like a family man. And it might be a movie called Family Man. I think he was actually in.
Okay.
His wife sends him to go and pick up food at like a street vendor, and she keeps telling him don't forget the tartar sauce. And it's like one of my favorite scene in the world. He's like freezing his ass off, and you hear his inner monologue, and he's just like, tartar sauce. He's like, oh man, like don't forget it. And then he starts staring at this chick's ass, and he's like, oh man, like tartar sauce. And like he's like, oh, I'd like to put my face right in there. Oh, tartar sauce. And then the next thing that happens, he goes up and he orders his food, and like while he's ordering his food, he's like, tartar sauce. He's like, is there anything else I can get you? He's like, no, have a nice day. like his overacting in scenes like that, and then I'm trying to remember the movie. It'll come to me later, but like his overacting makes movies. The second Ghost Rider movie.
Yeah.
Awful.
I forget about that one.
It was awful. His overacting in that. Usually it makes the movie more enjoyable, and I think it made it watchable. Yeah. But it wasn't an enjoyable movie.
No. That was made by the guy who made Crank. Jason's Statham.
Dude, I loved both of those movies.
Oh yeah. So yeah, but it obviously didn't work for the Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Sequel, so.
I mean, have you seen the sequel to Crank?
No, I've only seen the first one.
High Voltage? That one's actually really good too.
Okay.
Like, I was worried that it wasn't going to be as good. Just as batshit crazy as the other ones. So
okay.
It's interesting.
Nice.
But Color Out of Space is a H.P. Lovecraft story. Which, for people who don't know what that is, like, if you ever seen, like, Cthulhu or stuff like that, like the tentacle-faced monster, kind of like Davy Jones from
Pirates
of the Caribbean, yeah, Dead Man's Chest and stuff like that. Very much in that vein visually. Super bright trailer, almost has kind of Stephen King vibes where it's, like, very mind-trippy and, like, hearing people talk to you.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like like the colors, the logos, everything else. Like it felt like in homage to like 80s horror movies in a way.
Yes.
Like almost like 80s like body horror movies.
Yes, and the color scheme for it, like I don't know. Have you ever played Far Cry?
Yeah.
Any of those games? Yeah. Have you played the most recent one, Far Cry? I think it's New Dawn.
I don't think so. I played the new one now.
It looks very similar to that color scheme where like the trees are like bright pink and purplish.
Okay, yeah. A lot of pink.
Yeah.
And purple ones, isn't it?
Yeah, and like to the point where he even says he's like it's like pink or purple. He's like actually it's like a color I've never seen before. Like it's just super bright.
Yeah.
Almost off-puttingly bright considering the tone of the movie.
Yeah.
It's almost deceiving.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be an interesting one to see where it goes because I don't know if it's a book, but I know nothing about it, and at least
I don't even know like if it's gonna be like some sort of like creature or alien or something or
yeah. And that's the way it seemed because that's the way a lot of the H.P. Lovecraft stuff goes. The one thing I will say that I was surprised by is the main actress in it. I can't even remember her name. I haven't seen her in years. Right. And it kind of took me aback for a second because like it's been so long I don't remember her name.
Yeah. You kind of forget about these people until you see them and you're like, oh.
And you're like,
yeah.
It'll definitely be an interesting movie. The kids in the cast, they actually, the girl specifically, I can't remember her name, but she's been doing a lot of good stuff lately, and I'm interested to see how she does in that movie.
Okay.
So, the other one we were looking at is Candyman.
Yeah, I heard about this like a year ago or so, and I completely forgot about it until like right now when we were looking stuff up. And produced by Jordan Peele, stories by Jordan Peele, and the script is by Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
So that gets me excited.
Yeah, dude. And like I said, Jordan Peele for me right now can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Until he does.
Until he does.
But. And you said you've never seen the original.
No, I never have.
Okay. So, like, fun little, like, trivia thing for the first one is there's a scene where Tony Todd, who plays Candyman, has a bunch of bees coming out of his mouth.
Okay.
And instead of, like, CGIing them because it would have been super expensive, they actually put bees in his mouth.
Ooh, dang.
And they paid him $1,000 per bee sting.
Wow.
And I think he walked away with, like, somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000. That number could be wrong, but I know for a fact that that's the story.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see if we both are under the impression that Yahya Mateen, Abdul Mateen, is the dude playing Candyman, which would excite me.
Yeah, I would.
I'm curious to see if they're gonna go in that same direction because the Candyman controls bees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do that, I don't know if they'll give him like that same kind of contract.
Right.
But I'm definitely excited to see what he can do as that character and the direction they go with that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, you know, Jordan Peele's recent success, you know, there's no room to be like hesitant or cautious about it, really.
Yeah, no, like I actually have been going back and watching Key and Peele.
Okay.
And I started noticing like his sense of like horror when they would do like a little bit more like twisted sketches. And I don't know how nobody saw this coming previously after watching those, because he has one of those minds where like he just seems like he comes up with stuff like out of the top of his head.
Yeah. Because I remember when Get Out first came out, like the trailer first came out, like I even laughed at the trailer because I was like, okay.
And you're like, okay, Jordan Peele, like it's probably going to be something funny I walk into, and the trailer is just like misleading to kind of...
but no.
It was
legit.
I love that movie. And dude, up until the moment where you find out what's going on in that movie, I completely thought it was going in another direction. I thought it was mind control.
Yeah.
And I won't give spoilers because I don't know who has and hasn't seen it, but wow, that took a turn.
It did.
Sadly, before I watched Us, that twist at the ending got spoiled for me, but it didn't make it any less enjoyable.
I liked Us, but, you know, Get Out being his first movie, Us kind of, like, disappointed me in a way. Because I was waiting for some, like, super big, like, twist.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I think the twist they gave was good, though. I am surprised he didn't do something a little more mind-blowing, but even then I felt like it did its job. Because you didn't really need a twist with the way the movie ended.
Okay.
But that little extra, like, it almost felt like you were being betrayed in the movie. So, saying as little as possible.
Yeah, and like in a way it kind of felt like an old like 80s like Steven Spielberg type horror movie.
Yeah.
In a way. At least to me.
No, I can definitely see that.